So what's all this now? Here's where we start the video. What's all this Mike Ditka stuff? He's gonna be mad at me, and I'm doing it on purpose. Steve Ditko. Okay, it's Steve Ditko. That guy. I don't know. So that's why I think it's a sports baller. Because every time you say the name, I don't know. What's the story? Why do we care?
Well, we care because Disney.
Oh, because you were right. Because Rob was right. Neener, and everybody going off on this conspiracy of it's all about diversity and it's a woke agenda to usher in this and this. I don't think it's that complex. I don't believe humans are capable of working together with that many people, with that many parts over that many years. That's just a little implausible. Realistically, just show me the freaking money. Follow the paper trail. Follow the money. That's usually the best bet. Occam's razor. I am a huge fan of Occam's razor. The simplest solution is probably the most likely. What's your simple solution there, you?
The simple solution is, like you said, Occam's razor. Was it really about diversity, increased representation, making certain groups feel like they're included, or was it about money?
I think it was. I think the diversity thing was. And we can pander to these crazy people on Twitter who are yelling at us. Oh, all the better. I thought it was just an added bonus.
Yeah, it was a smoke screen, but they took advantage of as what they called Stalin called them useful idiots.
The useful idiots. Oh, you're calling it right now. That's what it is. That's what it feels like, though. And usually, this is how I know Rob's probably right. In the universe, you know how you have like your Teslas and your Edisons of the universe, right? How everybody flocks to the Edison because he's the bigger showman and he's the one swaying, and that's kind of the comparison here. Everybody's flocking to this. Oh, it's this great agenda. It's all about diversity and it's a conspiracy to do this and this and this. When in reality, over here is the tiny little simple solution that's probably correct. What did you discover now that I've blabbed for too long?
Well, I've discovered that last month, the Steve Ditko's estate. Now, Steve Ditko is one of the guys who helped create Doctor Strange and Spiderman. And guess who's going to be in a movie together coming up soon?
Those guys.
So they filed what's called a notice of termination on the character Spider-Man, which first appeared in Marvel which appeared on Amazing Fantasy number 15, I believe, 16, in 1962. Now, what that means is the author's heirs can reclaim the work after a statutory period of time expires.
Mm-hmm.
And that is coming up in 2023. Now, what do you think Disney did? They filed lawsuits so that they could keep hold of these characters.
Because they lost a whole bunch of others recently and had to pay a lot of money and had to change them up for diversities. Maybe is that the digging and research you found in your video that we're gonna link somewhere here, right?
Yeah, because back I think it was 2014, I believe it was, they had to settle with the family of Jack Kirby, who created all these characters, the Eternals, Iron Man, and all these, the Fantastic Four, the Mighty Thor. I mean, you name it, Jack Kirby had a hand in it.
Mm-hmm. So now, how's that related to the Steve Ditko thing?
What happens is, how this relates to is that the Kirby estate, they ultimately settled out of the court, but the Ditko estate soon followed, and like I said, they're going about this in a slightly different way, from what I've gathered.
They're doing it preemptively this time, because on your video, basically to sum up, you discovered that they got a little pissy that Jack Kirby's family and estate wanted money for all of his characters, so they started really, really quickly and not so subtly changing them out to make them at least 25% different. To what's the easiest way to say something's a completely new character? No, this is a black person now, or this is a woman now, or this is that's a woman of Malaysian descent or something like that.
Yeah, it's Captain America, but it's really not Captain America.
It's Captain American enough to milk the customer base. This is exactly like Star Trek. This is what they did with Star Trek too. They're like, oh no, it's really Star Trek. It's really your Star Trek in the same universe and everything. This is your Star Trek, and it's even going to be played by the same actors, but they're going to be different.
Mm-hmm. So what happened is now, an attorney by the name of Dan Petroselli filed these proceedings to head them off of the pass, as it were, in a New York court. And he's claiming he filed against Stan Lee, Don Heck, Patrick Ditko, and Don Rico, and Keith Detweiler. Those are the big names involved in the estates of Kirby, Stan Lee, Steve Ditko, and etc. The litigation figures the focus, and I'm taking this from the Hollywood Reporter. The litigation figures the focus on the Marvel method, a loose collaborative working atmosphere where initial ideas were briefly discussed with artists responsible for taking care of the details. The Marvel method has been the subject of prior litigation as a dispute a decade back over Ghost Rider. So essentially, they claiming it's work for hire, that you're creating it for the company, which is actually the same way that Thomas Edison tried to screw over Nikola Tesla out of the stuff.
Oh, gee, my Tesla analogy was prophetic at best.
Yeah. So, yeah, actually, there's the famous case where Tesla presented him for like a bill or something, and Thomas Edison looked at him and said, "Son, you have no idea how this business works, do you?" To try and stave this off, Disney's acting preemptively rather than sitting around and waiting for them to to throw their hat into the ring. But this also says to me that Disney knows that the all new, all different, and all canceled MCU is completely and utterly screwed.
Yeah, that kind of is a big red flag to say, we know these movies are gonna flop, especially now after Black Widow and Shang-Chi underperform. Like, people are gonna be like, but Shang-Chi made all this money. Well, then, I didn't see it. Did you see it yet?
No, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not dragging my butt out of the theater to see it. And Jesse Milestone did a really good video on why it sucks but is enjoyable. So
yeah, I'll watch.
Yeah, watch her video. It's actually really, really good.
Jesse Milestone has great takes on a lot of stuff. So.
Well, she's she's so intelligent. That's one of the things I love about her. She's like one of the smartest people on YouTube. Again, every time you have some of the smartest people on YouTube, it's just like the reading masses and the sheep all kind of flock to the biggest, to the craziest stuff sometimes, instead of like the most simple solutions. But
what do you want? When do you want it?
But anyway, this is going to challenge the whole work for hire notion. If it's successful, which I would like to think it would be, in that when you create something, you create it for the company. These guys are trying to get back a legal claim to that. And and actually fairly recently, James Cameron was able to get the copyright termination approved for Terminator.
Cancel me. Just cancel me. You're perfectly lined up for bunny ears.
I am, aren't I?
I could put a hat on you. I need to find a hat. What's a good hat to put on you?
So the aluminum foil hat. All right. Well,
I could add that in post.
Well, anyway, like I said, this is going to be interesting to see how it plays out. This is not going to get resolved for a little while, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
That's just so funny that, like, your hunch was right. But I guess that really, really makes sense again, that people wouldn't want somebody around who's actually going to figure out the real reason behind this when, the grift of, it's about racism and the diversity, and it's there to punish you, so to break your spirits, so it's easier for the New World Order or the Illuminati to come in and take over. And it's more of a tale to, it just seems, it draws a bigger reaction. It draws a bigger response than something as simple as it's about money.
I'm not going to say, listen, I don't want to rub it in that I'm right, but I just want to say that...
Rob's right, and monetize him. Neener, yes. Rob's right.
But I just want to say that, listen, all you people saying diversity and inclusion and representation, you all got played. You really did. You all. Well,
me too. We included, because I thought it was all about that too for a while. I'm like, well, what else could it be? This stuff isn't making money. This stuff, like, why else are they doing this? It's not making money. It's really because it would avoid lawsuits to where they would lose even more. I think it's like they had to take a loss.
Oh, if they could set up to what these new characters were going to make money, they would have. Believe me. And I honestly think that they really did believe that they could have made these characters work, but you know what? They didn't.
Well, they're listening. I think on the flip side of that too, though, they're still listening to Twitter. They're still listening to like the 5 people on Twitter with their 27 sock puppet accounts who recite back the same diversity garbage, and you know, and I think it was an easy sort of thing, and it's like, yes, and we're gonna be more inclusive, so you guys don't yell at us and don't try and cancel us. But meanwhile, they're like thinking, how do we avoid getting sued? Oh yeah, it's all for diversity, and sure, and they play that up because they know it's gonna get people to talk about it. Well, they let the media run with that too. Like, the media is the biggest enemy in a lot of this, is because the media is the one who goes around calling all the fans, oh, you're all racist, you're all sexist, when the studios are just there like, well, our new diverse characters aren't. Well, what do we do? Do we sue preemptively?
Well, it's a bulletproof argument is what it is. It is. Like, oh, diversity representation, because if someone says, if anybody tries to come out against it, they could just say you're racist, you're homophobic, you're, you know, whatever. You know, that's the thing. You're critic proofing yourself. And so that was their strategy. Anybody who listen, they know what they're doing. Disney has a lot of high priced lawyers. They know exactly what they're doing.
Right?
Okay. And this I'm pretty sure they've gone through plan A, plan B, plan C. We're on maybe plan D or E, maybe plan F. So
they're on the, okay, how can we prevent this? They're on the taking the vitamins preventive measurements, I think.
Yeah.
Well, that too. So of course you're going to tell them, yes, this is our diversity. Please don't hurt us.
Yeah. So anyway, like I said, this is gonna be interesting to see what happens. I'm hoping, part of me hopes that Disney loses so that these characters can return to their rightful heirs and the people that would treat them right. So,
because nobody wants garbage bullshit characters. Like, that's the thing. And I've compared Marvel and stuff, especially the MCU, to McDonald's. And there's nothing wrong with fast food. I went to McDonald's yesterday. Right? There's nothing wrong with once in a while. Like, they're fun. It's fine. There's nothing, like, nobody says these movies have to be high art. All right.
Listen, they're at their core, they're action movies. Okay, they're action movies. That's all. I make no bones about it. It's an Avengers. It's an action movie. So I don't care. I don't mind that. Just like it for what it is.
Yeah, and now I kind of feel a little like I don't like being taken for a ride either. I don't like being taken along this movement of, and we're gonna win because they're just trying to destroy our characters because they're ushering this agenda. Because that seems more fun to join that bandwagon, doesn't it? It seems like that's where all the crowd is. That's where all the buzz and excitement is, and that's where all the energy is over there and the crazy. But you know, maybe we're better over here in the logic and reason, and not, you know.
Yeah. Okay, well, like I said, I was right. Neener.
So Rob was right. Go subscribe to his channel.
All right, see you later, everybody.
Get out of here. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button. And if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye!
I like science.